Okay, so round 3 is achievements, and up first is me. I've got the fact that a guy in the Netherlands and a guy from Bristol got together to levitate a frog.
You have my vote.
Yeah, done.
Take it.
You say this. No. This is what I was discussing earlier, where I said I actually had to read several different articles to understand it, and it's the simplest freaking thing to understand. What they're basically trying to say is that magnetism is really important and that it affects everything. So basically there are several different types of magnetism. Ferromagnetism, which is the one you'd be familiar with, which is iron and nickel and all those kind of things that are affected by magnets and they zing to magnets. Then you get, I can't remember what the other kind of magnetism is called, where they zoom away, but it's got a different name.
It's repulsion.
It's got a special thing of magnetism. It's something magnetism in it as well. And then you've got diamagnetism, which are things that repel or are repelled by magnets. But even the strongest diamagnetic materials, the force that's produced is very small, so you don't really feel it. So water is one that's mildly diamagnetic, which is why these guys managed to levitate a frog. So the scientists used a very strong magnetic field to produce the effect. It was, I think, 16 Tesla or 160,000 Gauss, or Gauss, however you say it, G-A-U-S-S. Gauss, okay. And they did this thing, and basically frog was sat there floating in air. It was very much looked like a free-falling from orbit frog. Not a space frog, because that is, something different. And basically, yeah, the reason they did this was to emphasise the importance of magnetism in the world around us. And for this research, Andre Geim and Sir Michael Berry won the 2000 Ig Nobel Physics Prize, which I love the Ig Nobels. They're fantastic. And there were some really good ones for this year. But, 2000 they won. And Andrew Geim actually went on to win an actual Nobel Prize.
For the same research?
No, for different research, entirely different research. But he was... Basically, it was proving that he was a pretty darn...
clever chap.
Yeah.
Failing that, he won his prize on finding out that frogs are magnetic.
Yep.
Which is something I'd always wondered.
I mean, they did it with a load of other things as well, but the frog's kind of the one that everyone went, oh, it's a frog. But apparently he was quite happy afterwards. He went and... The exact words were, he went back in his tank with his little froggy friends and swam about happily.
You wouldn't believe the day I've had.
The whole deal.
Tampering with the natural order of things.
Why don't they get on curing cancer and shit like that? I don't personally believe this. They do a lot of good work, but that's the idea, isn't it? It's like, why don't they go and do something serious rather than finding out how many budgies it takes to power an automobile?
Oh, yeah. No, I had this argument with Kath last week, actually. I think it was last week. Might be. Anyway, I had an argument with someone about this. Previously, it was about this world's smallest car.
Week two.
And it was just like it's absolutely pointless until it starts being useful for all the other things that you would never have thought to have. You would never have made that development without the pointless invention, like the tiny, world's smallest motor-driven car.
Yeah, people always complain about the amount of money spent on the space program, but then like 90% of your smartphone. I picked that number completely at random. Feel free to correct that. But so much of modern technology has come as a result of the space program.
I know, it's insane. I also don't see why the space program is such a ridiculous thing to spend money on.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Space, it's a lot bigger than Earth.
Well, I mean, there are a couple of different areas there, aren't there, that are kind of... I mean, one is inherently human, and that is this conquering, like Brian Blessed going up there.
Yeah, do the difficult thing.
Boldly going where no man has gone before.
Well,
and women are invited now too, which is nice.
Yeah, absolutely. But
so you're not a Star Trek fan?
Never heard of it.
I got into an argument with one of my very close friends based on this exact thing, and I'm there going, at his age, and he's going up the mountain, and she went, it's fucking useless. Totally fucking pointless. I'm like, what?
Wow.
This is human expedition.
There's just
we've been there. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But
you've got to work every day. I was going to say, if you're going to look at who really has pointless endeavours, It's us simple cretins who actually do the same thing every day to make other people money. Sorry, Jason, I know. No. In all fairness, people find meaning in... But, you find meaning in all different aspects of your life. So I've got this podcast, you've got a wife, you've got, a loving relationship, all that kind of stuff. You've got various different bits as well. I'm guessing it's not just...
The only thing
that's worthwhile in your life is your wife.
If you're listening to this, sweetheart, that is 100% completely true.
But if she's not, then it's not.
She's really not listening to this, so I can be honest.
But just find some meaning in life and enjoy it, because there may be more than one, but I'm not going to count on it.
Yeah, I'm pretty convinced there's not. That's why I masturbate all the time. You never know
why your wife's so pissed off.
It's very off-putting trying to talk to you.
I've been told not to bang on the table. It's getting very difficult.
So I was just thinking that the philia where you actually are attracted to solid objects rather than people.
Really?
Yeah, like the people who married the
philia.
No, who married the Eiffel Tower and walls and trees and all these kind of things.
You can sort of almost understand the Eiffel Tower. It's very phallic.
Because they can't say no. That's not a...
No, I was going to say there's a big psychological reason behind it.
That is bordering on rapey.
It sounds very rapey.
But
You're my wife now, Tower.
But I mean, obviously it's not official and recognised in the term of religious things or for tax purposes, let's say, but if someone wants to say, oh, I'm married to this tower or this bridge, why not?
I wish it was. I'd get married to the Vatican. Quid's in there.
I was going to say, you might be a bit old.
Shades of episode 2.
Sorry, Pope.
I'm actually liking this Pope.
I know nothing about him, so...
But he's doing some absolutely sterling work towards equality and actually kind of coming forward and saying, look, okay, totally abridging here, and Christians, I'm not trying to piss you off, which is a change for them. He's kind of saying, yeah, precisely. I'm coming from the scientific point of view, and actually this is the first Pope that's kind of said, we might not be 100% on this.
Yeah.
But one doesn't preclude the other, which is nice because that's at least what the scientists are saying. They're saying...
I've always thought, absolutely nothing wrong with believing in both religion and science, because obviously some of it is metaphor, but some of it you can make some scientific arguments for how various different things happened. And
totally.
Yeah.
And I mean, is it Richard Dawkins? I think it was Richard Dawkins saying, I'm probably misquoting here, but I think it was him saying, science does not preclude the ideal of a creator. Because, I mean, I'm also looking at things like Kashanov scale. Basically, it's what level of humanity or what level of species you are. We are currently at type 0. If you're interested in any of this, check out Michio Kaku, because the man's fucking great to listen to. Describes the different stages of a species' evolution based on the amount of energy they consume. Now, a type 7 is, we're talking pan-dimensional, able to manipulate matter, mass, and time, and everything beneath it. Now, which is all, again, within the constraints of science. But can you think of a more godly sounding thing?
Yeah. Type 7.
A type 7 civilization.
And he sent down the type 5 to be sacrificed. Did you ever read about the it's like the thing from Dogma, the missed out stories of Jesus' youth. there was a council about 500 years or 300 years or something after Jesus lived to decide what would go into the Bible and what wouldn't. And there's a big gap missing out from the middle. And one of the theories, there are actual stories and then there are theories, is that for part of his older, 16 to 18, the difficult period, he went to study with monks in Tibet and all this, and which is where he suddenly comes out with these peaceful philosophies of love and all this kind of
So he didn't work in a coffee shop and surf hut in Australia.
Before that, he blew up people. He used to be in a gang in his native village where he grew up, and it was him and a group of other things. And basically, all the kids were scared of him, and he's kind of his closest cronies were scared of him as well, but they got in at an early age and they were friends. So and some kid brushed past him when he walked past him in the street by mistake. He was, I think, visiting from out of town. Jesus turned around, literally finger, and went, and this kid exploded. And he tamed dragons and did all sorts of interesting shit. But it doesn't really go with the whole peace and love. There's a lot of stuff, though. If you say what has been said in the Bible, I think even at the time they were pretty sceptical about it. Like, I mean, the whole virgin birth thing.
Moses carving it down on the rocks and going, really? Shit!
This is virgin on the ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah, I know.
So we've moved on from the first fact of the floating frog. And yeah, Jason, you're up next.
So, achievements. This is a joint achievement by Einstein and the rest of mankind, or some people who built a very big laser interferometer gravitational wave observatory.
Or did they? Was it the aliens?
It was probably not aliens. I can't prove that, but I'm a good 80% it wasn't aliens, because I've sourced it here. Look, Britannica,
yeah,
Britannica
all right, fair
says
enough,
it wasn't aliens. One of Einstein's predictions from the general theory of relativity was gravitational waves, so extremely massive events such as black hole collisions, many millions of light years away in the universe, causing ripples in space-time called gravitational waves. And so for the last 100 years, humans have been thinking about how to build detectors. So some very clever people I think it's in the States, built LIGO. So the LIGO is a large L-shaped device which has two underground pipes in an L-shaped, each 1.3 meters wide and 2.5 miles long. Now they send a laser beam down each one, and it's bounced back and forth several times. So eventually the laser beam in each direction has travelled about 1,000 miles, and then they can detect if a gravitational wave passes through the Earth at that point. One beam will be slightly out of phase with the other beams to the order of 1/10,000th the size of a proton. So after a journey of 1,000 miles, they can tell a difference in 1/10,000th the diameter of a proton, which is absolutely mind-blowing. And that is my fact, and they've achieved a shit ton.
Do they then fall down at your door?
I wish they would.
I'm sorry, I couldn't focus on your fact because as soon as you said 1,000 miles, I said, ba-da-ba.
It was meant to be 10,000.
I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more.
No, you're right.
Be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door.
I can't help but feel that you've kind of undermined my...
I really have, and your fact was so interesting as well, and I'm sorry, but it was burning its way through my skull. Very impressive fact. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much.
Cool.
I had relatively little to do with it, so don't give me too much.
Relative.
That was generally funny.
Dave, for achievements, what have you got?
Okay, the biggest achievement I could find is the only human being to receive 2 Nobel Peace Prizes.
Marie Curie?
In the same field.
Oh, okay.
What are the chances of being in the same place twice?
Without being hit by lightning.
Maybe he was Scarecrow, outstanding in his field.
Oh, you saw a bad pun and you thought you'd raise a worse pun. So the Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded to John Bowden in 1956 and in 1972. He was working in the field of superconductivity and was trying to make a more effective signal amplifier. John Bowden and Walter Bratton, I'm sorry if I mispronounced, produced the world's first semiconductor amplifier in 1947. And these were later developed to be the world's first transistors. So that's kind of a big fucking achievement, given that all our phones and this recording equipment, your PCs, laptops, all that shit, all transistors. Anyway, he carried on his research, and in 1957, along with Leon Cooper and Robert Schriefner, they theorized that under extremely low temperatures, metals can cause electrons to essentially pair up and organize, which, due to essentially some quantum magic and the crystalline effect of the metal meant the electrical resistance disappears. So, and that is later, more recently, proved, I think that was linked to quantum entanglement, I think. But, so it's not particularly funny, but...
No, I know what you mean though, yeah. For round 3's achievements, we've got My Floating Frog, Jason's Einstein's Gravitational Wave, or Dave's One Man, Two Man Awards.
For myself, I love the idea of floating frogs, but Jason's stolen it away.
I do like the old gravitational wave myself too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be a gravitational wave.
Yes!
So who are you voting for, just to be nice?
Floating frog. Everyone loves a floating amphibian.
Totally agree.
I'm going to change my vote and vote for... No, I'm kidding. Well done, Jason. You win that round.
Yay!